the GOATs, right? How you gonna sit there and tell me Steph is not in that conversation?
I said that before.
You get what I'm saying? You can't sit there and tell me.
I said that and people clown me.
In Steph's eyes, right? Think about what Steph said. Probably, I don't know, but probably sits from. It's Mike, it's Cole, and then it's me.
Curry looking for that opening. Steps back. Crossover. Fires away. Wow! Another three! James trying to harass Curry. Curry off the dribble. Layup off the glass.
He's not going to put Braun over himself.
See?
But he has every legitimate argument.
Steph Curry just shook the whole basketball world with one bold statement. When asked where he ranks among the greatest players of all time, he didn't hesitate. Mike first, Kobe second, and me at number 3, he said confidently. That line alone set the internet on fire. Critics called him delusional. Fans laughed it off like he'd lost his mind. But what if Steph actually has a case that people just refuse to see? When you really look at what this man has done and how he did it, his legacy starts to look untouchable. By the end of this story, you might see Steph in a whole new light.
7 to shoot. Curry, deep one! Bullseye!
Almost lost it out of bounds. Curry cutting. Oh my goodness.
See Murray at midcourt trying to keep from getting a catch. Here's Curry, deep triple! It's good! We're tied again!
You know, and the shot he made to tie towards the end, it's a shot that, only he can make.
Before Steph showed up, the Golden State Warriors were a total disaster. Straight up one of the saddest teams in the NBA. Between 1995 and 2009, they only managed a 37.6% win rate, ranking 3rd worst in the entire league. The only teams worse were the cursed Los Angeles Clippers and the Vancouver Grizzlies, who struggled so badly they had to move their whole franchise to Memphis just to survive. That's how rough it was. In 14 long years, Golden State scraped together just 5 playoff wins. 5. That was the 2nd lowest total in the league. Only the Grizzlies had fewer, and they had 0. That's how hopeless the Warriors looked. Back in 2009, if you told someone this same team would dominate the next decade, they'd think you were crazy and probably laugh you out of the room. But what came next flipped basketball history upside down. Steph's rise to greatness didn't follow the typical superstar path. It was built differently. He didn't join a powerhouse or team up with elite players chasing easy rings. Nah, Steph created something from nothing. The worst franchise in the NBA turned into the most feared dynasty of a generation. And it all started with the man who built it from the ground up.
Curry handling, crossing over, driving in, clinging on his hip. Circles to the corner. Space. Fires a 3, hit another one. He's hit 3 in a row.
Did you see what happened though on that play?
Oh, beautiful.
That right there sets his story apart from anyone else in the game. In today's world of sports, loyalty is mostly talk. Something players throw around for headlines. But Steph Curry, he actually lived it. When everything crashed around him, he didn't run. In 2020, the Warriors finished dead last in the league with a brutal 15-50 record, and everyone said the dynasty was over. Analysts wrote obituaries for the Warriors, claiming the magic was gone for good. Then, when Steph came back healthy the next season, he dragged that broken roster to 39 wins. Still not enough for the playoffs, but it showed the fight was far from over. While the media called for a total rebuild, Steph refused to give up. He stood tall, loyal to the team that believed in him, ready to bring the fire back to Golden State. This is exactly where Steph Curry showed he's built different. Unlike almost every other superstar today, he didn't cry for a trade, run a podcast complaining about his situation, or have his agent leak frustration stories to reporters. When the front office made questionable calls, he didn't shade them in interviews or throw anyone under the bus. He just kept showing up, working harder, and believing when nobody else did. That's real loyalty, and it's rare. Now, when you stack that up against his peers, Steph's loyalty shines even brighter. LeBron James switched squads 4 times chasing rings. Kevin Durant jumped from team to team, suiting up for 4 different franchises. James Harden, man's got the record. 5 teams and counting. Even Kawhi Leonard moved twice and spends half his career load managing. Fans have gotten so used to superstars hopping around that it's easy to forget there's still one guy who never ran when times got tough. This entire era of basketball is defined by movement. Players bailing out the moment things get hard, calling it strategic. Chasing rings with stacked teams gets celebrated like it's the smartest move ever. But Steph, he looked at all that chaos and said, "Nah, I'm staying right here." And what happened next? In 2022, he shocked the entire basketball world. That championship run wasn't just another ring, it was a statement. The same analysts who called the Warriors finished were forced to eat their words.
Hannah, I'm told that James Harden
wants a trade to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Apparently Durant requested a trade from the Nets today.
This stuff is hard. And you got to stay together if you got the guts, and you don't find the first door and run out of it.
3 years earlier, everyone said the dynasty was dead, that Steph was wasting the last of his prime on a roster that couldn't keep up. When Kevin Durant walked away, the media swore Golden State's magic was gone forever. But Steph flipped the script. He dragged a worn-out team to another title and finally grabbed that Finals MVP trophy everyone said he couldn't win. What a moment. That 2022 championship meant more than numbers or stats. It was about legacy. It proved once and for all that Steph never needed Kevin Durant to reach the top. That ring screamed that the dynasty wasn't luck or timing. It was heart, loyalty, and pure dominance. When everything crumbles and the world doubts you and you still find a way to win, that's what separates true legends from players who just had talent.
You and Dominique Foxworth are going to sit on First Take and say that Steph Curry will not be in the conversation for a championship in the next 4 years.
Curry against Horford, gets past him inside, off the glass again. Fakes, fires, three-pointer, bang! Steph Curry from downtown, a 15-point lead.
But to be honest with you, I don't see the Golden State Warriors bringing home another championship.
And when people talk about longevity, it's wild how Steph rarely gets mentioned. Everyone always praises LeBron James and Kevin Durant for aging like fine wine. But Steph, he's right there with them, still torching defenses at the highest level. This season, he's putting up 28.5 points per game, shooting 47% from the field and nearly 40% from deep. That's unreal consistency. He's dropped 40-plus points in multiple games this season, including a 49-point masterpiece that had everyone remembering just how unstoppable he still is. The man's closing in on 38, yet defenses still panic the second he crosses half court. Steph's got 44 games with 40 or more points after turning 30, tying Michael Jordan himself for the most in NBA history. That stat alone should silence every critic questioning his longevity. Think about it. The same Michael Jordan everyone calls untouchable in the all-time rankings has the same number as Steph in one of the toughest categories for aging guards. Most players his size lose their legs first. Their speed fades, their shot slows down. But Steph, he's breaking the rules of time itself. The man just refuses to decline. Steph Curry keeps breaking every rule the game thought it knew. Analysts have spent decades studying how point guards fall off with age. But somehow, Steph keeps proving them wrong, while LeBron gets endless praise for staying dominant in his late 30s, putting his longevity under the spotlight every season. Steph quietly matches that same level of production from a position that's supposed to decline way sooner. Yet, his name barely gets mentioned in those conversations. Crazy, right? People made up their minds about Steph years ago and just refused to change it, no matter what he does. But the numbers don't lie. They paint a picture that most fans simply ignore. What really separates him from nearly every other modern superstar isn't just his skill, it's how he carries himself.
Right? Think about what Steph said. Probably, I don't know, but probably sit from. It's Mike, it's Cole, and then it's me. Right? Like, he's not going to put Bron over himself.
See?
But he has every legitimate argument
and I asked the question.
Sit there.
In today's era of player empowerment, Steph looks almost old school with how professional he stays. Look around. Players run to podcasts every week to vent about their teams. They drop cryptic Instagram posts to force trades, or leak frustrations through their agents to shape a media narrative that makes them look like the victim. It's become standard practice now. But Steph, he doesn't play that game. He doesn't air out his dirty laundry online or throw shade through social media. He just clocks in, dominates at an elite level, and clocks out. No drama, no excuses, just results. Even when the Warriors hit ugly stretches, Steph never once blamed his teammates. Not in interviews, not in pressers, never. Sure, he's human. He's had moments of frustration with front office decisions, but those emotions stayed behind closed doors. Meanwhile, reporters tried to stir up chaos around him constantly, but Steph refused to bite every single time. That type of discipline and composure is rare in today's NBA. And that's exactly why his leadership hits different. True franchise players like him barely exist anymore, and most casual fans don't realize how valuable that is. When you compare Steph to legends from older eras, guys like Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, or Tim Duncan, it's clear he belongs in that elite group. But the real eye-opener comes when you line him up against his own generation. Because let's be real, his peers all followed the same script. They jumped ship to form super teams, chasing easier championships, leaving behind the franchises that drafted them. That became the norm, and nobody even questions it anymore. But Steph took the harder road. He stayed, he built, he fought through losing seasons and came out on top without ever abandoning his squad. That changes how his accomplishments should be judged compared to everyone else's. Look at Carmelo Anthony. He tried to build something real in New York, but the dysfunction around him tore it apart. Or take Shaquille O'Neal. He made it to the finals young in Orlando, lost, and dipped for LA when a better shot at glory came calling. Even the most dominant forces in basketball history couldn't pull off what Steph did, because what he built in Golden State wasn't just about winning. It was about creating a dynasty from scratch and holding it together through chaos, injuries, and rebuilds. That takes more than talent. It takes vision, patience, and loyalty. And now, in his 30s, Steph's resume stands toe-to-toe with any legend in the game. 2 championships after turning 30, a finals MVP, 7 All-NBA selections, a scoring title. And he did all of that while his roster changed constantly. Teammates came and went, stars got hurt, and the media doubted every season. Through it all, Steph just kept shining, reminding everyone that greatness isn't just about skill. It's about heart, character, and the will to keep proving people wrong. Everybody counted the Warriors out, again and again. But Steph Curry, he just kept proving them wrong every single time. The man didn't just change his team, he changed basketball itself. The game looks completely different now because of him. He showed the world that greatness could come from 30 feet out, and once he did, the entire league followed his lead. Teams that used to take 15 threes a night now jack up 40 or more like it's nothing. That's Steph's influence right there. Young players today pull up from half court like it's casual. Shots that used to get you benched back in the day. Coaches now build entire offensive systems around spacing and three-point firepower. Even general managers draft and sign players based on shooting ability more than ever before, all because of what Golden State built under Steph's vision. The ripple effect is crazy. From high school gyms to the NBA Finals, the game has been reborn through his style. Very few athletes in any sport can say they reshaped the entire way the game is played, but Steph Curry sits comfortably in that elite, untouchable group. And that famous quote, when Steph ranked himself behind Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant at number 3. It doesn't sound so wild once you really think about what he's done. He didn't join a dynasty. He created one from the ground up. That takes more than just skill. It takes patience, loyalty, and a belief that doesn't break when the winds stop coming. While others chase shortcuts and easy rings, Steph stayed loyal through every tough season. That kind of faith, that kind of grind can't be measured in stats. It's character. He didn't just dominate, he transformed the sport while staying elite into his late 30s. Historians will look back and realize they were witnessing one of the most revolutionary careers in basketball history. So really, the question isn't if Steph belongs with the all-time greats. It's why some people still refuse to admit it when the proof is staring them right in the face. The man's legacy speaks louder than any debate ever could. If you love this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment about where you think Steph ranks among the legends. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.